So this is the Science of Getting Rich remixed by Misty Baron, which is basically just the Science of Getting Rich, but in more modern terms or phrases, and then there's usually some kind of questions or action steps at the end of the chapters. So I'll start with the introduction. Why the remix exists. We have more access to information, technology, and opportunity than any generation in human history. And yet, most people are Netflix and chilling their way into mediocrity, while algorithms designed by billionaires vacuum their attention for profit. Why? Because nobody is taught them the actual mechanics of wealth. Not the mindset fluff, not the hustle harder garbage, the science of getting rich. Wallace D. Wattles nailed the formula back in 1910. He was part of the New Thought movement, writing the science of getting rich during the Gilded Age when inequality looked a lot like now. His radical claim, wealth follows exact laws like mathematics. Anyone can get rich by thinking and acting in a certain way. His book influenced Napoleon Hill, Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, and every abundance teacher since. But here's the problem. Nobody wants to wade through Victorian language and 1910 examples when their TikTok feed is competing for brain cells. That's where I come in. I've consumed more wealth building content than a productivity influencer on Adderall. 100 books, countless workshops, endless gurus promising the one secret that they all stole from somebody else. And here's what I learned. There's literally nothing new under the sun. King Solomon wrote that thousands of years ago, and it's still true. The principles work. They always have. But while Wattles couldn't add what I can. Modern psychology, neuroscience-backed methods like SparkQuery TM, and a framework for healing the money wounds that keep you broke even when you're thinking the right thoughts. This book takes Wattles' timeless laws and runs them through a 2025 filter. Witty, sarcastic enough to keep you awake, relevant enough to keep you aligned with spirit, practical enough to actually make you rich. The only question is, are you ready to work them? To the millennials and Gen Zers who've been algorithmically hypnotized into believing wealth is reserved for trust fund babies and crypto bros who got in early. To everyone scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m., watching influencers live your dream while you debate whether to start that business or just accept that this is as good as it gets. To those who've read The Secret, tried the affirmations, made the vision boards, and still feel like the universe put you on red. To the ones who left church but missed the mystery, who love science but crave the sacred, who know there's more to life than paycheck to paycheck grind but don't know how to break free without becoming a soulless hustle bro screaming 10x at a vision board. This is for you. You're not broken, you're not behind, you just haven't been taught the actual mechanics of how wealth works, the science and the spirit of getting rich. And to my family and friends who watched me crash, burn, lose everything, and rebuild using these principles, thank you for believing before I could. And then we'll do the preface. Why your vision board isn't working. Let's get real. Another money book? Another guru telling you you'll manifest a Lamborghini if you just believe hard enough while still living in your mom's basement. Yeah, no. The law of attraction isn't bullshit, but the way most people use it is. They treat it like a cosmic vending machine. Think about a Ferrari, push a button, out pops a Ferrari. That's not how this works. Here's the truth. Your thoughts create reality, but not in isolation. Thoughts and words and gratitude and action and spirit equals wealth. Leave one of those out and you're basically trying to bake bread without yeast. It won't rise. This book won't coddle you, but it won't gaslight you either. Positive vibes alone don't pay rent, but negative vibes guarantee eviction. You've got to train your mind the way you train your body. Consistently, deliberately, gratefully. And yes, you're going to have to acknowledge that something bigger than your ego runs the show. Call it God, Source, Abba, Higher Power, Divine Intelligence, the Cosmic Goo. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you stop pretending you're the sole architect and start collaborating with the source that built galaxies. So here's the deal. If you're willing to stop scrolling, stop chanting sacredly memes, and actually work these principles, this book will rewire your life. Here's how to use this book. First pass, read straight through to understand the whole system. Don't stop to do exercises yet. Just absorb. Second pass, work through one chapter per week, doing every what to do next section. By week 17, the principles will be in your bones. Or jump to chapters that call to you, but know that skipping around means you might miss fundamental concepts that make later chapters work. Ready? Let's fix your relationship with money. Let's fix your relationship with spirit. And let's make you rich in every sense of the word. SparkQuery Explained. Affirmations had their day, but let's be real. Your brain is too sharp to fall for sticky note slogans it doesn't believe. When you chant, I am rich, your subconscious whispers back, laugh out loud, liar. Enter SparkQuery, my trademark upgrade. Instead of forcing your mind to swallow a statement it rejects, you ask a question your brain can't resist answering. Example, instead of I am confident, you ask, why is confidence showing up in me when I didn't plan for it? Instead of I am rich, you ask, why is money showing up for me in ways that surprise and delight me? Boom. Your brain goes to work gathering evidence. And guess what? Evidence multiplies. SparkQuery are like spiritual search engines. You type in a question, and the divine delivers matching results. Neuroscience explains why. Questions activate your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, the filter that determines what you notice in your environment. When you ask, why is money showing up for me? Your RAS starts scanning for proof. Suddenly you notice opportunities, ideas, and resources you've been blind to. Questions don't just change your thoughts, they change what you perceive as real. Use them daily, cautiously, observantly. You'll find one Spark query at the end of every chapter. Pick the one that feels good to you and set them as a reminder on your phone. Ask the same one for a week and watch your brain start delivering proof. Prologue. Promise to the reader. This book is not theory. It is not opinion. It's not wishful thinking wrapped in Instagram quotes. It's a method, a law, a science. If you read this book with focus, if you practice the principles daily, if you align your thoughts with gratitude, your words with increase, and your actions with a certain way, you will get rich. Not maybe, not someday, not if Jupiter goes direct. You will. Your results will rise in direct proportion to the clarity of your vision, the steadiness of your faith, the fixity of your purpose, and the depths of your gratitude. Which, if you recall me reading The Science of Getting Rich and the quick start to The Science of Getting Rich, the vision, faith, purpose, and gratitude are, four of the things that seem to get hammered across throughout the book, along with, thinking and acting in a certain way, and, just the increase of life. I make you this promise because I've lived it. As a licensed specialist in school psychology, I studied how beliefs shape behavior for decades. As an entrepreneur who built a global technology company, I proved these principles work in the real world. I didn't just stumble into wealth, I earned it through fire. I became disabled, watched foreclosure notices pile up until I had 30 days left, survived 2 near-death experiences. I was so angry I disowned God entirely, told the universe to leave me alone because clearly the feeling was mutual. But when the pain of staying broke became worse than the fear of trying again, I rebuilt. I systematically healed my money wounds, reframed my relationship with Source, and aligned with these laws. The same infinite intelligence that multiplied for me will multiply for you. This is not a gamble, it's certainty. This is not philosophy, it is practice. This is not a suggestion, it is law. Read, repeat, live it. The results are guaranteed by the very structure of the universe. If you work the method completely, half-hearted efforts yield half-hearted results, but full alignment with these laws, and inevitable wealth. So I will come back to chapter 1 in the near future. as I continue to go through the original Science of Getting Rich and the Quick Start Guide to Getting Rich, or Quick Start Guide to the Science of Getting Rich. So hopefully, as I go through the Science of Getting Rich remixed, you see it expanded and look at it in a new light. So hopefully you found some value in this. Thanks, and have a good day.